Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today is, it's really laser focused. We're going to be extracting the profound lessons that are kind of hidden within these public acts of mourning and remembrance.
Right.
We have stacked up a number of sources, and they all detail these deeply personal, yet very, very visible tributes paid to Kim Porter. And this was on the recent anniversary of her untimely passing back on November 15th, 2018.
And what we're undertaking here is really more than just a summary of what happened. This is a deep dive into how familial identity and this kind of enduring grief and celebrity legacy, how they all intersect.
Exactly.
I mean, when a loss is experienced by a family that's already operating in the public spotlight, and we're talking specifically about her 4 children, Quincy, Christian, Delilah, and Jesse, their methods of remembrance, they become these public declarations.
Declarations of what exactly?
Of their mother's lasting character, about her impact. And our source material, it presents this truly fascinating contrast. You've got one tribute that's rooted in, like, collective heritage and shared lineage, and then another that's expressed through this singular, very raw artistic vulnerability.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. And for you, the learner, we are going to move past the headlines here. We're going to extract the specific, memorable details of Kim Porter's foundational life, her family structure. I mean, we really have to understand the historical context, the cultural context of her career to truly appreciate the depth of these tributes.
You absolutely do.
You'll leave here with a full, nuanced picture. You'll understand not only what they chose to share, I mean, everything from these intimate family reunion photos to a dedicated music video, but also why those specific choices hold such deep sociological and emotional meaning, especially in the face of such an ongoing public loss.
And that framework, it leads us right to our core question for this deep dive.
Let's hear it.
How did Quincy, Christian, Delilah, and Jesse navigate this deeply significant anniversary? And what do their chosen, very distinct methods of commemoration, one emphasizing the enduring past, the other processing the raw present, what does it all tell us about the texture, the complexity of Kim Porter's lasting influence on their identities?
That is the question. We need to unpack this immediately. And I think we have to start by setting the stage because, really, to understand the legacy, we first have to fully appreciate the life. Okay, so we have to begin by grounding ourselves firmly in Kim Porter's life, her professional identity.
Right.
Because these foundational facts are, I mean, they're absolutely necessary for understanding the depth and, the public resonance of the tributes that follow.
It's so important.
She was, as all the sources emphasize, a really notable figure in her own right, a career woman whose achievements, you could argue, preceded and sometimes even transcended her high-profile relationships.
And it's so crucial to recognize where her story begins, because it really emphasizes the scale of her personal achievement. I mean, the reports indicate she wasn't born into the center of the entertainment industry.
No, not at all.
She had these deep, deep roots in the American South. She was born and raised in Columbus, Georgia.
Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah. And she successfully navigated the local education system there, graduated from Columbus High School. And this detail, it really matters.
Why do you say that?
Because that journey, the journey from a solid, grounded upbringing in Georgia to the hyper-competitive, high-glamour world of international fashion, that represents a significant cultural and professional leap. It's a huge jump.
It is. And the sources confirm that this professional ambition was very deliberate. The shift from Columbus, Georgia to the highest levels of the high fashion world was not an accident.
No.
It was a career path she chose to execute. She made a strategic decision to pursue modeling full-time, and she treated it not as some, stepping stone, but as a serious career ambition.
An ambition she absolutely realized.
Totally.
And we can actually quantify that success based on the very specific highlights cited in our sources. Modeling success. It's not just about being attractive or, being present.
Right.
It's about visibility. It's about editorial recognition, brand power. And Kim Porter achieved this significant sustained visibility in the industry.
She reached the covers of major globally recognized fashion magazines.
Yes.
And let's pause on that detail for a second because this is where the context becomes so critical. We aren't talking about niche publications here. The reports specifically mention magazines like Elle and Marie Claire.
2 huge names.
And if we look back at the late 80s, the 1990s, the time frame of her ascent achieving covers on these specific mainstream high fashion publications as a Black woman, that carried immense cultural weight.
Oh, it absolutely did. At that time, you had figures like Naomi Campbell and Tyra Banks who were breaking global barriers, but the mainstream fashion landscape was still, it was intensely focused on a very, very narrow aesthetic.
Very narrow.
So securing covers on magazines that define the shopping habits and style aspirations of millions of women, magazines like Elle and Marie Claire, that signifies reaching the editorial pinnacle.
It really does.
It establishes her not just as a model, but as a recognizable commercial commodity, someone with real staying power.
Right. So this level of achievement, it establishes her own independent legacy, a legacy that her children are now, it seems, proudly drawing from.
Exactly.
And that success, it opened doors beyond just the editorial pages, right?
Of course.
That high level of achievement also led directly to major brand collaborations, and that further cements her status in that realm. Our sources mention specific campaigns with powerhouses like Tommy Hilfiger and Revlon. What does landing those two specific brands tell us about her commercial appeal at the time?
Oh, it tells us everything we need to know about her sustained mainstream penetration.
I mean, Tommy Hilfiger in the 90s. That was synonymous with urban culture merging with preppy American sportswear.
Right at the center of the culture. Exactly. Aligning with them put her at the epicenter of style authority. And then you have Revlon, which is a whole different world.
How so?
Revlon represents the cosmetics industry, a massive global market focused on accessible beauty, mass appeal. So to have both that editorial success, the cover of Elle's, and these powerful commercial contracts with Revlon and Tommy Hilfiger, it means she mastered the complete cycle of the fashion industry.
That's a great point.
And for her children, this sets the baseline. Their mother was a professional success, a known commodity who commanded attention in the public eye through her own work.
Okay, so we have the successful professional, and then the family chronology follows, which is just crucial context for the unit that is now grieving and commemorating her.
Yes.
The first detail the sources give us is the welcome of her first son, Quincy, in 1991. And she had him with the artist Al B.
And that really establishes the start of her journey into motherhood and into this very public family life. Critically, as the reports confirmed, just 3 years after Quincy's birth, she entered that long time and often, tumultuous relationship that many people know her for.
With Sean Diddy Combs.
With Sean Diddy Combs.
Yeah.
And this relationship ultimately expanded the family significantly, and really, it placed the entire unit permanently within the culture of mega celebrity.
And that's where the remaining children come in.
Right.
Their son, Christian, who's often known as King Combs, and then the twin daughters, Delilah Starr and Jessie James.
Yes.
So by the time of her passing, she had built this unit of 4 children that spanned nearly 3 decades of her life.
It's incredible to think about.
And this large, blended, highly documented family structure. This is the very ecosystem that now has to manage public grief and private memory.
And the complexity of this unit, I think, makes the collective and individual tributes that we're about to discuss even more powerful. It creates this vast web of interconnected memories and shared experience.
Which is the very thing the anniversary focuses on.
Exactly, a shared history. However, to really anchor the discussion that's coming, we have to conclude this section by confirming the somber details.
Yeah, we do.
Which are, of course, central to the anniversary we're discussing.
Indeed. Kim Porter died on November 15th, 2018. She was only 47 years old.
So young.
And it was a sudden, very unexpected loss. The sources confirm that after a period of investigation, her death was officially ruled natural.
Attributed specifically to lobar pneumonia.
Lobar pneumonia, yes. And that date, November 15th, that is the fixed anchor point for all of the emotional and commemorative activities we're about to dive into.
And understanding the sudden natural cause of death, I think it further underscores the ongoing shock and the void that was left in that family structure.
So what's essential to retain from this first section is this duality, right?
Yes.
Kim Porter was a professional who built her own platform from a simple Georgia background, and she was the mother who created this complex, blended, and very public family unit.
And the tributes we're about to discuss, they reflect both of those foundational truths.
Okay, so here's where we transition into the active commemoration.
Right.
We shift from her life story to how the children chose to honor her. And not just individually, but as a unit. They emphasize their shared identity, their shared heritage.
And this collective approach, it offers such a profound look at how they manage this shared public loss.
I think it's arguably the most sociologically interesting detail unearthed in the sources.
It really is. The reports confirm that Quincy, Christian, Delilah, and Jesse, all four of them, they all posted these shared photos on the anniversary date, November 15th.
And they were focusing on a recent family moment, something that held deep meaning for them.
A conscious choice. They chose unity over individual statements on that specific day.
But here's the thing that's so interesting to me. If they wanted unity, why didn't they just choose a throwback photo of the four of them with their mother?
That's a great question.
The critical detail here is that the moment they chose wasn't a nostalgic image from the past. It was a recent family gathering, specifically a Goodwin family reunion that they attended over the summer.
Right.
Sharing this specific recent memory, it suggests that the special meaning comes from the continuity, the future of the family structure she built.
That is the pivotal insight. I think you've nailed it. They are intentionally linking their mother's memory, not just to the immediate family unit, the Combs and Porter household, but to the broader ancestral line.
The Goodwin lineage.
The Goodwin lineage, which is Kim Porter's side of the family.
And in a family that is so defined by the globally recognized high-powered name of Combs, choosing to foreground the maternal lineage on this significant anniversary is a really powerful act of identity re-anchoring.
It's a deliberate pivot. It's a statement. And the specific visuals they shared are absolutely crucial for understanding this emphasis on lineage.
The reports detail the very specific clothing they wore.
Yes, and let's detail those specifics, because they are key for you, the learner, to get that visual memory. The sources describe the physical cohesion.
Right.
The siblings shared photos of themselves wearing matching Navy shirts as they were, enjoying the afternoon outdoors.
So it suggests deliberate coordination.
Completely. A visual statement that says, we are one unit. But the text emblazoned on those shirts is what truly matters here.
Okay, so the identification was clear. The shirts were emblazoned with the family name, Goodwin.
Goodwin.
This is a public, unified declaration of the maternal side of their heritage. And then even more specifically, another photo showed them lined up.
I love this detail.
And across the backs of their shirts, alongside their individual names, was the powerful marker, 6th generation.
6th generation. I mean, we have to pause on that.
We have to.
That one detail, it transforms the tribute from just a simple memorial post into a statement of historical permanence. Well, in the context of a high-profile, modern, blended family that is constantly evolving and often scrutinized, publicly declaring their belonging to the 6th generation of the Goodwin line, that's a strategic move. It's to establish an immutable, stable foundation. It roots them in a history that precedes and transcends the entertainment industry.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, what is the sociological significance of emphasizing generation and lineage during a public tribute like this? This moves so far beyond just a simple emotional outpouring.
Oh, it speaks directly to the need for stability in the face of profound public loss.
Right.
When you're navigating grief, particularly a loss that is public and highly documented, rooting yourself in a larger established history, the 6th generation of the Goodwin family, that provides an immediate sense of identity, of stability, and profound belonging.
It's a statement.
It's a statement that says, while our mother is absent, the lineage she represents continues, unbroken, through us. It moves the focus away from the fragility of individual existence and directs it toward the enduring power of collective heritage.
It almost sounds like a conscious decision to use the maternal familial identity, the Goodwin name, as an anchor against the turbulent nature of celebrity life, which often lacks that deep historical rootedness.
That's exactly it. When the world knows you primarily as a Combs, embracing the Goodwin name on such a significant day is an honoring of the person Kim Porter was before she became the public partner and mother to famous children.
Right.
It highlights the part of her identity that gave her her own sense of grounding back in Columbus, Georgia. And that is what she passed down to them. They're asserting their heritage as their emotional foundation.
That reframing of identity is incredibly powerful. It takes a day of sadness and turns it into a day celebrating this enduring inherited identity. And the caption that accompanied this shared post, which was delivered by Quincy, it just underlined the collective, unified nature of the memory. He wrote simply, "Kim, we love you, Mama."
And that direct address, "We love you, Mama," encompassing all four siblings, it just confirmed this was a unified, deliberate statement. The source material shows us that this particular tribute communicates a profound focus on heritage, on continuity, and the inherent strength of the existing family unit, which was explicitly built and reinforced by Porter's roots.
They're effectively saying her identity, the one linked to the Goodwins, is the very foundation that allows them to move forward together as a stable unit.
It is such a sophisticated way to handle a public commemoration. You're not dwelling solely on the immediate, painful moment of loss, but you're projecting the longevity of the family identity she passed down.
It's curating a memory of strength.
And that raises a really important question for anyone observing how celebrity families manage tragedy. In the face of this intense public scrutiny, which demands constant novelty in individual narratives, how do you hold on to the intimate, private heritage?
Right.
And the answer, according to these sources, is through visible signs of lineage and shared family history, like the Goodwin shirts and the sixth-generation marker. You turn a simple family reunion photograph into a profound statement of enduring connection.
The power of a unified front, especially when grief is so often experienced so individually, you just can't overstate it.
No, you can't.
It gives them a shared strength to navigate the public expectations that come with this level of fame.
And the beauty of this collective tribute is really its simplicity. It's not about grand gestures. It's about aligning their public identity with a private, deep-seated history.
And this contrast with the next tribute we're going to talk about, which is a grand artistic gesture, is what makes this deep dive so compelling. Okay, now we shift gears entirely. We move from that collective statement of heritage to the singular artistic processing of grief.
A completely different approach.
While the Goodwin reunion post was about shared foundation and lineage, Christian King Combs offered a deeply personal and creative tribute that explored the rawness of his individual grief.
And what's truly fascinating here is the immediate contrast. We move from the collective historical identity to the singular artistic expression.
Right.
And King Combs, who is an established musician and artist in his own right, he chose the most personal platform he has, his music, to honor his mother.
And that allows for a kind of vulnerability that is just difficult to achieve in a simple social media post.
It really is.
The sources confirm the strategic timing of this. Over the anniversary weekend, he released the music video for his tribute song, which is simply titled Kim.
And the timing, it just underscores that this was a deliberate, synchronized act of observance. It was timed perfectly with the day.
This was not a casual release.
No, this was an artistic memorial service. And this choice to create a piece of visual art, it allows him to process and share the complex, multi-layered emotions he has carried since her death in a medium that is both vulnerable and widely accessible.
That's a great point. It ensures the memory is preserved not just in photos, but in melody, in rhythm, in narrative.
Components that make memory far more accessible and enduring for a wider audience.
Okay, let's dive into the detailed analysis of the video content, because the visuals themselves are such an integral part of the tribute. They provide the emotional narrative structure.
They really do.
The video doesn't just show him performing, it opens with a very distinct symbolic visual, King running in slow motion.
And that slow motion opening, it immediately establishes the emotional tone. It suggests a sense of urgency that's being slowed down by the weight of time, or loss, or reflection.
It conveys a struggle.
A struggle, a journey, or perhaps the feeling of time standing still or moving too slowly since the loss occurred 5 years prior. It forces the viewer to slow down and observe the emotional labor required just to exist on this anniversary.
But the video quickly shifts. It shifts to an exploration of memory and the past, transitioning from that raw present to the cherished history.
Yes. It recreates moments from his childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a common and powerful mechanism for grief, attempting to physically re-enter the past to find comfort or understanding.
Right.
But what specifically stood out in the sources regarding the pivotal moments he chose to highlight? Because the selection of memory is such a key part of the tribute's meaning.
The sources specifically mention that the video highlights earlier periods of Porter's life, including a visual recreation of her pregnancy with the twins, Delilah and Jesse.
Wow.
Yeah.
This choice is so profound, and it's incredibly selfless in an artistic sense.
How do you mean?
It's not just about his personal one-on-one relationship with her. It's about acknowledging her life as a creator, as a nurturer. He's focusing on the moment she brought life into the world, thereby cementing her role as a matriarch.
Yes.
By focusing on her pregnancy with his sisters, he's honoring the life she gave to the entire family unit. It validates the collective grief they explored in Section 2.
That detail really elevates the tribute. It's beyond just a son missing his mother.
Yeah.
It's a recognition of the entire legacy she forged and the source of his sisters' lives.
Totally.
And the song Kim, which is the vessel for this tribute, is confirmed to be featured on his Never Stop EP.
And within that track, we find the raw emotional core of his tribute. The lyrics that are cited in the source material, they provide that immediate guttural expression of loss that music can carry so effectively.
It's a powerful excerpt. Very direct and simple. He says, Kim, I love you, Mama. Things ain't been the same here without you, Mama.
And that simplicity is its strength.
It is.
Music acts as such a powerful vessel for complex, ongoing grief because it allows for repetition, for rhythm, for tone, to convey enduring sadness and longing far better than prose often can. When he says, things ain't been the same, it's an acknowledgement that the world has fundamentally shifted. The foundation is altered.
Right.
And for a public figure, it transforms his personal music catalog into a public memorial for his mother. It ensures her name is perpetually woven into his artistic identity.
So it's a way of saying, my career, my success, my art, it all exists because of and in memory of her. It's an active way of keeping her memory vibrant in the present, not just honoring it as some historical event.
And he didn't just rely solely on the artistic interpretation of the music video. The source material captures his reflection that he shared on Instagram the day after the anniversary, November 16th.
Right.
And that gives us the clear emotional why behind the artistic expression. It provides the direct emotional context that anchors the artistic work.
On this reflection, it's extremely vulnerable. It provides that necessary intent. He confirms the depth of the loss. I miss you so much, Mommy.
So direct.
So direct, so intimate and accessible. And he follows it up immediately with a sense of guidance, indicating her presence is still active in his life. He says, not a day goes by that I don't feel your love watching over us.
And this is a critical psychological mechanism revealed in the source material. He frames his grief not just as absence, but as continued guiding presence. This shifts the focus from passive suffering to active inspiration.
That's a good way to put it. He then explicitly addresses the significance of the day itself, confirming its permanent emotional weight. He writes, today will forever mean something deeper. And the stated intent for the release is perfectly clear. There's no doubt about his motivation. He says, I wanted to honor you with this video. That confirms that the art was a deliberate offering, a tribute, first and foremost.
And the final part of his statement, it provides closure and future aspiration, framed through her perspective. He says, I know you're in heaven, proud of everything we're becoming. I love you forever.
Wow.
And this completes the entire narrative arc of the tribute. It's driven by loss, but it's fundamentally motivated by the desire to continue living a life that would make her proud.
This public declaration, it reinforces his commitment to her memory and legacy. It validates both the grief and the aspiration.
It's a beautiful testament to the enduring relationship between a mother and a son, documented for the digital age.
It's a remarkable study in how a younger generation uses modern media, sophisticated music video production, accessible social media captions, to turn a private, painful anniversary into a highly visible, deeply meaningful homage.
It really is.
And the contrast between this artistic, individualized expression and the collective generational statement of the Goodwin shirts is truly what defines this deep dive.
And if we look even deeper, Christian's tribute, while it is individual, it ultimately reinforces the family unit.
How so?
By honoring her as a matriarch and highlighting the source of his sister's lives, that pregnancy recreation, he is paying tribute to the entire structure she created. The two tributes are different in form, but they're unified in purpose.
Celebrating the enduring identity Kim Porter created.
Exactly.
The meticulousness with which both of these tributes were executed, it suggests an incredibly thoughtful and coordinated effort by the siblings to manage their public image while honoring their deepest private pain.
They control the narrative.
Yes, completely. They steered the focus towards legacy and love, rather than just loss.
And that control is essential. In the celebrity world, events can often spiral out of a family's hands. By strategically releasing a major piece of art and a unified family statement on the exact anniversary, they dictated the terms of the commemoration.
And they ensured the focus remain on Kim Porter's role as a source of strength and heritage.
It speaks volumes about the respect they have for her original identity, the successful model, the grounded Georgian, the Goodwin lineage bearer, before she became defined solely by her relationships.
And it connects her foundational life, which we discussed in Section 1, directly to the ongoing narrative of the children's success and identity in the present.
Yes. They are actively using her past achievements and her family roots to define their future path.
So what does this all mean when we bring those two streams of tribute together? I mean, we've looked at two very distinct yet profoundly connected methods of honoring Kim Porter 5 years after her passing.
We have.
On one hand, you have the foundational generational strength symbolized by the sixth-generation Goodwin shirts.
A tribute focused on ancestry, unity, and lineage, on providing stability.
Exactly. And on the other hand, we have the raw, artistic processing of grief demonstrated through Christian King Combs' music video, Kim.
Which is an expression of individual loss woven into a creative narrative. It's focused on memory, aspiration, and continued connection.
And together they just paint this complete, complex picture of a legacy that sustains both the collective family identity and the personal journey of grief.
It really emphasizes that Kim Porter's impact is evidenced first through her successful career. I mean, achieving covers on Elle and Marie Claire, campaigns with Revlon and Tommy Hilfiger, but most profoundly.
Yes.
Most profoundly through the deep, ongoing love and connection maintained by her 4 children across these very different, yet equally public platforms.
Her life provided the anchor. Her death provided the catalyst for this deep public assertion of identity.
And we've used these sources to understand a legacy not merely through historical accounts of her actions, but through the emotional impact she had on her children. Her life continues to provide the moral and historical framework for their shared identity and their individual paths.
So the sources show us that her legacy is a living, breathing component of their present.
Not just a fact of their past.
And as we close this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final provocative thought to consider based directly on the source material we examined today. Reflecting on these sources, what does it tell you about the crucial role of family identity, specifically the public assertion of the shared Goodwin name and that sixth-generation designation in providing immediate continuity and deep comfort when navigating a highly visible public loss?
And to extend that thought, what is the future form of historical record-keeping? I mean, the children aren't just remembering their mother privately. They're actively curating her legacy for the world to witness through meticulously crafted digital artifacts like music videos and social media posts.
That's a great point.
So what challenges and opportunities arise when you're honoring the past, when the past itself is being documented and presented for future generations through media platforms that blur the lines between private memory and public spectacle?
Right.
That, I think, is the true power of this modern multi-platform commemoration.